thing, but it was just more on the fitness aspect of things. It is it's in my bag, which is in the car. Just all cool. And I'll answer the questions that you all had as well, because before the stream, before my computer restarted, I seen there was a question, something about the time frames that I use. If you could ask that question again, and so I can have it here so I can respond back to it after I was finished talking about this, I will very much appreciate that, and I will answer that for you. Whoever asked the question, I just seen it like as soon as it was about to restart. I seen the question. Let me get this set back up. When I was talking about the agenda, understand what is happening. This all correlates to trading and going back to what I said with gold. But furthermore, what this is a prerequisite. This is the you guys know what a beta test is, right? Like this is the beta test. You guys know when a game is about to drop, a product is about to drop, they have a test beforehand. They have a test beforehand. They have like a group of people who will test the game beforehand to see if there's any bugs, to see any things that they need to tweak. You have the people that would try out their certain products, let's say skincare products, clothing, to see how it fits, to see how people like it before they push it out to the mass public. It's the exact same thing with this is. This is the beta test. What we're currently experiencing is the let me 1 second. What we're currently experiencing now is the beta test. They're looking to see how people react. Back in 2020, that was a beta test as well. That was a beta test as well. A very big beta test. And you see what happened. They saw that regardless of how upset and mad people were mad and pissed, but yet they still complied. And that is what this is happening now. This is the beta test. People will be mad, people will get upset, and regardless of how pissed you are, like going back to the basketball game, regardless of how pissed, how upset you are, it truly does not matter. If you don't have a card, you're not going to buy anything from this convenience, that the convenience place. I forget off the top what that place is called, but the convenience place where you go to at games to buy snacks and whatnot. If you don't have a card, you can't purchase that. And think of how that is on a smaller scale. That's just at a sports game. That is going to become the norm in all these other places. So that means you're going to have a digital card, a digital currency. Think about they can track that. They can't track cash. When you see all these drug dealers, these cartels, they use cash. They're not sitting there, or some people at a different level, they use like cryptos because, yeah, but cash. You can't track cash. You can't. You can bear it, you can have it and do whatever. You can't track cash. What you can track is your bank statements because you can go to whatever purchase you get. You can go look back at the past year history worth of your purchases. All they're doing, this is the beta test. They're getting people to be prepared to comply with it. They're smoothing out the edges. They're testing to see how far can they take it. How easily can people be manipulated? And what a better place. Let's go even deeper with this sports game. What a better place to program people even more than at a sports game. What a better place. That is the best place. Understand that Satan is very smart. That's why it says that he deceives the entire world. Satan is very, very smart. He's intelligent. That's why the word says, be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. Satan is very smart. He even was smart when he tried to tempt Jesus. So let's start doing this. Let's roll this out at sports game. If we want to beta test people, we're not just gonna beta test at Walmart. They're not just gonna beta test at Target out the gate, beta test at Costco out the gate. Gonna beta test it at these events because all you care about and all you're focused on is the sports game itself. All you're focused on is the crowd, the stadium, the teams playing. That's why one way to make the most money is to set up a convenience stand at a sports game. Name me one sports game where the prices aren't double or even triple of what they normally are. I remember it was it last year? It was either last year for my birthday. I think it was last year. Yeah, last year for my birthday. Me and my mom went to a football game, and all she got was, I want to say, a pizza, a one slice of pizza, and a water, and spent 20 something plus dollars, and it was normal. And I remember her response that she told me, because to me, I see the agenda behind that. And when she told me the response, it made me see it a lot clearer. She told me that it was the experience. It's just the game experience. That's what it's called, the game experience. You go to the game, you get you something from the convenience. You pay the extra money. That's the experience, a part of being there. It made sense to me. That is the whole agenda that's being happening. This is why I say that gold is gold. When they're pushing all these digital currencies and the reason what's going on behind closed doors, gold is dropping. When you see, let me give you an analogy so you understand these drops and these waves of gold. When gold is pulling back, it's like pulling a slingshot back. That's all it simply is. When you pull a slingshot back, eventually it comes to a point where it releases. That is what it's like trading gold. Understand that when there's these pullbacks that happen, all it is just a slingshot. And as it's slingshotting, think about as it's pulling back more and more and more, it's collecting more and more and more people. So it's accumulating more and more and more money. All the people who rule the world, when it's pulling back, they're putting their money in. They're stacking up. They're stacking up. They're stacking up. They're stacking up. And then this is when the pullback happens, understand it's not just a random pullback. When the pullback happens, something happens in the world. Something happens in the world that causes that pullback. So they make an event happen, pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back, make the event happen, make it last for however long they wanted to. And then when they are ready to, they stacked up their bread, they're ready to make a profit, then they release it. And that release comes from another event happening. When gold is going up, that means the trust in the currencies in the rest of the world is going down. When gold is pulling back, that means they're starting to gain a little bit more hope, a little bit more faith in their currency. That's why gold has been retracing the way that it has. That's why that slingshot is being pulled back. Because think about it, what happens, all these drops that happened on gold, what happened? This drop that happened within gold, wasn't this when that war? started, when these drops happen, isn't it when Trump starts to say this and they start to gain a little bit more confidence in the dollar? And then what happens? Takes off. I've seen a video, and it's very, very true. It was a video and a statement. And when I saw it, I'm like, oh, other people observed this as well. Have you ever observed, right? When Trump speaks, Trump always goes back on his word for the more majority of it. Trump, he would threaten tariffs. The market makes a reaction. Never mind, I'm not going to do it. The market makes a reaction. He would threaten that we're going to do this. If they don't do this, if they don't comply, the market has a reaction. He backs off of it. The market has a big reaction. That initial threat is when that big wave happens. And there's a reason why a lot of these decisions have to be made by like a Friday. Have you ever observed that? On a Saturday or Sunday, that's when something big would happen, or during the weekend, something big would happen. And then throughout the week, it may be heading down in that direction. And then at the end of the week, then boom, that move happens to the upside or downside, depending on what happens. If we look at gold, let's go, let's just analyze gold. Look at these moves that happened on gold. Look at this huge type of drop that happened. This was when the war started happening. And then there was sort of a relief of things getting better. And then now we see this happening. If we still look at gold over the long period of time, you scale out, we're just looking at it from a 1 hour, 4 hour time frame. Look at the weekly time frame. If you just look at gold from a weekly perspective, gold is still rising. Gold is still heading up over the long term. You had a few weeks of big drops. Normal. When this happens, boom, here, let's stack up bread, keep going. Gold is gold. Gold is always going to be gold. Why? There's a reason why. If you read the Bible, when you see all of these kings, what does it say that they were wealthy in? It doesn't say that they were wealthy in USD. It says that they were wealthy in gold and silver. Abraham is talked about that in Genesis. It said that him and Isaac, they were both wealthy in gold and silver. Joseph, wealthy in gold and silver. Solomon, gold and silver. They were wealthy and had abundance of these things. Just like now, the ones that have the gold, think about it. The ones that you have the gold chain, 24 karat, whatever carat, the nicest gold chains, those get the most attention. Gold is gold. So gold is always going to constantly keep increasing. The price of gold is going to constantly keep increasing. And understand, what we're trading is just virtual. We're trading virtual gold. This is just the actual numbers of, we're just trading with the actual numbers of gold. Understand that these people, these bigger people that are in play, they're not on the charts doing this. They're actually buying real gold. They're buying actual gold. And they sell their gold once gold gets to a certain price. They're not just on the charts pressing buy and sell. They're actually buying real gold. Look at Trump. Look at his White House, his Oval, whatever room that is. Look what it's filled with. If I can find a screenshot. No, I can't, because I'm just sharing this specific window. And I'm not going to unshare it and reshare. That'll take way too long. So just look just use look up on the internet. Look up Trump's the White House gold. Just look up Trump White House gold or something like that, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Because I remember the day that he did do that, and people were outraged and pissed. It was on like a Sunday or Saturday. He bought a whole bunch of gold to put in the White House. Where did he get that from? And that was when gold. That was last year. That was when gold was skyrocketing up. Where did he get that from? How did he obtain all that gold? When gold was shooting up, he wasn't just buying, going, coming on the charts and going to trade locker and pressing buy on gold. He was actually buying real gold. All that gold that he bought, let's say he bought it for, especially what gold is at now. Let's say he bought all of that gold and spent $1 million on it. He could sell that gold for 10 million, 100 million, whatever. It's just, it's not, I don't know the exact number, but he could easily sell that gold for way more. Fort Knox, yes. So when you understand that gold is gold, and you understand how to trade gold over the long term, you understand where gold is heading long term, and you use the things that's happening in the world instead of looking at it as fear, use wisdom. Because if I see gold is dropping and something happens, I know that's just that slingshot. It's preparing to be released. And once it is released, back on the wave. That's what I've observed this week so far. Today's Tuesday. But Sunday, when the market opened, pullback, off to the races. Gold started just shooting up. I caught this buy here all the way up. I caught, well, I'm in this move now to potentially catch it more and more. If gold starts trading and closing above here and continues to hold above 45.75, price could potentially come up into the next 4 hour zone, 47.20. And that is how to trade. You can trade any pair. The simple way to trade any single pair is to just simply trade the pair. Understand how the pair moves, spend more time on the pair. I am truly really a lot focused on gold. That's why I understand so much about gold and why it's moving the way that it is. It'll be wise for me to study this pair and trade this pair, especially over the long term. And even oil. Oil is a good pair. I want to start focusing on trading pairs like gold and maybe even oil, not just for volatility, but for wisdom. I gain more wisdom trading gold than I would trading GBP USD because those two are just currency pairs. Those are going to be replaced anyway. So those are going to constantly keep going up, down, up, down, up, down. But when I'm seeing what's happening with gold, I gain a lot more wisdom. I'm seeing what's happening with oil and how the world is in, not the world, but most people are in chaos of like gas prices and stuff. I personally don't care because I don't look at gas prices anyway. But I've observed that a lot of people say, "Yo, have you seen the gas price go up, price go this, that, and the third?" No, I don't, because I don't pay attention to that. Just like the word says, give to Caesar Borgia what is Caesar Borgia, and give to the Most High what is the Most High. It don't matter how mad you get, how upset you get, how pissed you are at the prices of gas. If it's $3, $5, you're gonna pay that $5 to put gas in your car. It does not matter. So what's the point of complaining? It'd be wise to, instead of complaining about the gas, be wise and obtain more wealth so the price of gas isn't a thing to you. And not even obtain more wealth. Stop worrying so much. The Lord will take care of your needs. The Lord will take care of your needs. Christian said I've been looking at oil as well. Yeah, look at this. Look at this. And that's wow. I still have my drawings on oil from, when was this? When was this? This was back in 2025. I remember I did trade oil for a little bit. Yeah, I wanna start trading pairs like this, looking at pairs like oil, looking at pairs like uh gold. Well, gold is always gonna be the pair. Indices, indices are good as well. Indices are very volatile. I like indices. Indices are more longer term type plays. Indices are always gonna rise no matter what. They're gonna always keep going up. I can indices as well too, honestly. If I was just to focus on the industries that would give me the more wisdom, commodities like gold, silver, the metals, gold, oil, and indices as well. And the reason why, because a lot of these companies, because that's what indices are, it's just the top Nas 100, top 100, SPX 500, top 500, and US 30 is the top 30. All of these companies are getting influenced and being replaced, not replaced, or adding addition to their company of, do you guys know? Do you guys, I should ask you guys, where am I heading? Why would I say indices is a good pair to trade and to look at for observation to understand? Because I love trading. I don't just look at trading no more as just money. I use these to understand what's going on in the world. That's why I don't need to look super deep into all this news and financial and all this stuff because a lot of the stuff is AI is fake anyway. But this is just Bible prophecy. I can look at pairs and understand the Bible prophecy that's playing out. Okay, Leah said the crash is coming. So why do you think that I would say indices are something good to look at if you want to understand what's going on in the world? Why would you think that? Crash is coming. I'm gonna hear your all input and then I will share some wisdom. Oil is actually I remember when I was trading oil. Oil is a very beautiful pair. Oil moves very smoothly. Let me see. Let me see what it looks like on trade lock on trade yeah, trade lock. Let me see what the spread looks like. If the spread is not that terrible, I'm gonna add oil to the list. Markets, US oil. Oh nah. The spread is better than silver. The spread on oil is actually better than silver. The leverage is 1 to 100. That's clean. Let me see. Wow. The initial margin is wow, you can trade oil like it's you need less margin to trade oil than you do SPX. And SPX is like you need a little bit of margin to trade SPX. You need a lot more margin to trade US 30 and NAS. You need less margin to trade oil than you do gold, actually. Just looking at my trade locker. Let me see. Yeah, you need yeah, less margin to trade oil than you would trading gold. So you can trade oil with a smaller account than you would that. Let me see. What are the pips like? Oh, the pips are actually very clean. Pip wise, depending on lot size. If I was used to use a normal lot size, okay, pip count is clean. Pip count is very, very clean. 107 to 104. Yeah, the pip count is very, very clean. Considering the type of moves that it has, the pip count is beautiful. I'm gonna add oil to the list. Even if I don't trade it, I still want to look at it. If I don't trade it, I'm going to focus on gold, but as well, if I don't even trade oil every day, I still want to make sure that I'm monitoring it and looking at it to see what's going on. Because when I see these things that's going on with oil, now I understand why. Let me put this up here. I understand why. And this, looking at this, you understand why. Look at the gas prices. This correlates to it, just like how gold does as well. If you were to get appealed, whatever the word is, for, let's say you went to go buy a gold chain today, and you went to the jeweler, and you went and saw that initially it was, let's say, $100,000, and let me go to gold for a second to show you what I mean, to show you how it is actually is real life. This not a this is happens. If you got to, let's say up here, you went and got appraised for that chain and it was $100,000 right here. At this point in time, let's say you went to go look for get that same chain, you could see that that price potentially dropped to $80,000. Vice versa, if you were to look at right here and see that this was $100,000 at this point in time, and now it's up here, now you see that same chain is now $200,000 or 150,000, a greater number. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it's like. Observe that in the world. Babylon is falling. Absolutely. Babylon is falling. Satan, what the word says, Satan will be against Satan. The reason why I would also look at indices as well, just to analyze them, because remember, these are the biggest companies. So Amazon, Tesla, Nvidia, all these big companies, made Walmart, the major companies, the top companies. All of these companies are adding and replacing majority of their system with AIs. Understand that. Amazon AIs, Tesla AI, Walmart AI, all these things are being replaced by AIs. So when I'm seeing the markets make big move up, that means their stock, their specific company is they're increasing. They're making more and more. Amazon, think about how much more money Amazon would make if they didn't need to have delivery drivers and they could have robots that fly from point A to point B. They have their own robotic cars that go from point A to point B. Think about how much more money that place would obtain. Think about the Walmarts, the Targets, the top places. Think about how much more wealth that places obtain when they no longer need workers to check people out and they have the entire store filled with self checkouts. Think about how much even more to a higher level, how faster that runs when now instead of taking out your card, you can use your palm. You just scan everything. Now, let's go even higher because I know Amazon does this. Now, instead of having to go through a cash register or even a self checkout, Amazon, they have this thing where you can, the cart, it's an Amazon cart. So when you go into their stores, what you do is you put your thing, whatever it is that you want, in there, and it automatically adds it to your cart. And when you walk out of the store with your cart, it automatically charges your card. So you can literally go into, just think about, observe that now. Imagine how much more convenient that would be in today's ages. Think about what the world is now. You go into the grocery store, put these into your cart, go wait in line, check out, all of this, boom. And compare that to putting things in your carts and just walking out. Imagine the speed at which things would be done. Imagine the stocks of certain companies and how much faster they would increase. That's something to keep in mind with the indices. So that's why I want to look at indices as well, not to trade them because gold is looking cleaner. So I'm obviously going to spend the most time on gold. But if I'm monitoring pairs, US 30, because let me see. Let me let me look it up so I can give you guys the actual answer. What stocks are the blue chip stocks? Let me see. Okay. Oh, this is even. I just seen something because I seen it was something I was watching about Walt Disney because they're supposed to be a part of the Super Bowl next year. Walt Disney's supposed to be a big play of the Super Bowl next year. Interesting. But we got Walt Disney. This is US 30, the Dow. Walt Disney. We already know type time they on. These people are the Walt Disney, like Disney, they are part of the PDFs, the people that do those things to those children. That's what Walt Disney is a part of. Walmart, Walgreens. Think about Walgreens and think about the medical industry. Understand that with these AIs, medical industry, AI surgeons and all these things. Visa, Verizon, your phone, United Health, travelers companies, Nike, Microsoft, McDonald's. Already see what type time and all every last one of these companies can be taken over and ran by AIs. Nike, Microsoft, McDonald's, you see McDonald's, the food industry, there's an agenda being pushed behind every single industry. With the food industry, the agenda that's being pushed is artificial food, fake food. It sounds good on the surface level. More food, more people get to eat, less hunger, less starvation. JP Morgan, Home Depot, Coca-Cola, Boeing, Apple, American Express, Caterpillar, Cisco, Exxon, Gas, all of these things. What did Christian say? I found out a few days ago that AI tutors will be used to teach students core subjects in school. That is interesting. I definitely appreciate you for sharing that. AI tutors will be used to teach students core subjects in school. You know what that reminded me of? Back in 2020, that's when it all started. Back in 2020 was really the beta test. You want to know how I can easily see that happening? Because if I were in school, it would be so easy for me to do that. Because that was the year everything shifted. I vividly remember that. And I'm grateful that I got to experience that firsthand. Because literally months before, and this was my senior year in high school, months before we were going to class, doing everything, and then all of a sudden, boom, we did everything online. When I went to college, my first year in college, when I went to Clemson for that 1 year, everything was online. We went to class like one time. Eventually, we started going to class, but when we first started, everything was online. We went to class online. We did all our work online. Every single thing was online. We didn't even go into class for the first few months. And then we actually started going to the actual classrooms. And at that point, it wasn't even every day. It was like once a week. We went to class like once a week. Even though we were supposed to go, let's say more, we only went to once a week. If I had math class like 2 days or something, I would only go on a Thursday, and it would constantly keep getting switched around. So if we had a group of 20 people in our class overall, 10 people we would have class A and class B. 10 people will come on A day, and the other 10 would go on B day. So Wednesday, Tuesday, and the other one would go on Thursday. So I've become so accustomed. That's all my college life was like. That 1 year that I was there, I was accustomed to that. I didn't know what it was like to constantly be in the class, constantly be around people. So I would not be surprised by that. AI tutors teaching students core subjects in school. Why hire? And I've observed this as well because I've spoken to, especially like when I'm at the park and a lot of children will come up and play with me. Their parents will speak to me. And a lot of their parents are substitute teachers, like substitutes and actual teachers itself, and they tell me about how much worse it's getting for them and how they need to find a different way. I was talking to a mom and her children, her daughter. If I can remember the twins' name, they were the most beautiful, most amazing little girls. They taught me so much. They was so amazing. Um, she was talking to me about how she substitutes and doesn't get that well of a pay, and she's doing everything that she can to provide for her children. And she said she has to keep it up. And I told her get back into trading because she used to do trading for a little bit, and she stopped doing it. And I told her get back into trading. If you get back into trading, I didn't tell her to get back into trading for money aspect of things. All I cared about was those children. All I cared about was her children because I looked at it as you're a single mother. Trading would allow you the freedom to be a part of your daughter's life. She actually, it was three kids. She had three kids. It was two girls that were twins, and then the older one, he was like 8. The other ones was like 4 or 5, like younger. And I said, this is like, do this for your children. Look at all the things that you can do for them. You can be a part of their life. And AIs are truly, think about it. ARs, I'm not in school. I have not done anything school related since I dropped out. But look at all these AIs. You can AI will teach you better than your teacher will teach you. As simple as that. Just like Christian said, an AI tutor, why would I need a tutor? Why would I need to go to my teacher for an answer when AI can give me the answer off the top in 2 seconds? Was it Claude, whatever one of them AI tools is, can give you the answer in 2 seconds. Understand the agenda that is going on. It's all. That's why don't focus on the things of the world. Come from among the world, all the worldly pleasures. It's no point. And this is how to trade, right? This is how you should view trading. And I will answer yes, that is a 3 minute time frame. Leah, I use a 3 minute time frame now to enter my trades. I don't use the 1 minute no more, and the 5 minute as much something I've adapted to that I've added to the system. Absolutely beautiful. I love it. And when you're trading, treat trading as something that is actually enjoyable. Make trading second nature. You gotta figure that out for yourself. You gotta figure out how can I make trading just like walking. And one of the biggest ways is you gotta actually believe that. That's something that nobody can teach you. Nobody can teach you how to believe that you are a great trader. I can tell you that's why motivation isn't real. Motivation is fake. I can tell you all day, you're doing a great job. You're doing so good. You've made so much progress. I love the progress that you're making. You've gotten so much better. I can tell you that speaking from the outside because I can see those things. But the thing that I can't do, I'm not inside of you. I'm not dealing with the things that I'm not in your shoes. So regardless of what I see, I can see the growth that you make. I can pinpoint things in every single person. If anybody comes to me and let's say we spend a month together and I can see the things where you improved on or if you didn't improve at all, I can clear as they see that because I'm on the outside of it. You're the one actually going through it. I can see all the results in the world, but if you don't believe that yourself, it's pointless. Me believing in you is pointless if you don't believe in yourself. Me saying that you made all this progress, I can say that, yo, look at how much better your recognition on the charts are. Look at how fast you can mark up your charts. Look at how you speak about when you analyze the charts. I can see that, but you may only be focused on the money. You may not have seen the profits that you wanted to see. And now that's all you're focused on. So to you in your eyes, you've made no progress because all you're focused on is money. To me, I'm focused on the other things. So at the end of the day, it's doesn't matter about what the person sees unless you actually take action to it and you actually believe it yourself. So the way to trade any pair is to actually believe that you can trade any pair and to treat it like that. You don't go into a job, you don't wake up and say, I hope I don't forget how to walk. I hope I don't forget. I hope I don't mess up today at the job. I hope I don't forget how to scramble eggs today. I just really hope I don't forget how to scramble my eggs. Nobody says that. Why would you say that on the charts? I hope I don't get confused. I hope I win today. Whether you win or lose, it doesn't matter. If you come to the market and say, I'm going to show up and I'm going to execute like I normally do, it starts to truly become natural, become normal. And trading becomes like walking. Imagine all the things that we make second nature, whether that's good or not good. Let's say waking up and drinking your morning coffee. You made that so second nature that you just naturally do that. Imagine making trading one of the things that you are so think of one thing in your life where it is so second nature to you that you don't ever second guess a decision that you make or you don't ever second guess if you're doing it right or wrong. Think of that one thing. Now, imagine what your life would be like if trading was just like that. That is the only shift that you need to make. And that shift will unlock everything else. Those aha moments, has anyone ever explained to you actually what an aha moment is? Everyone just says I had my aha moment where everything clicked. What a true aha moment, it's not where everything clicks at once. It's a buildup of individual things clicking and it becomes natural. You start off solidifying your support resistance. Then you solidify your market structure, the pairs that you want to trade, how you trade. Do you trade any time of the day or at certain times? Your trade management, your risk management, how you view the trades, how long, all of those things, when they come together and you get clarity on all of it, that's when that aha moment comes. And that's not really an aha moment, it's just common sense. If you keep on doing something and keep on critiquing something over and over and over and over again, it becomes natural. It's not an aha moment, it's just, it has become a natural habit. looking at the markets, I never had a aha moment of, oh, support and resistance click. It's just studying it. It's actually getting clarity and finding one specific way of doing it and keep on doing it over and over and over and over and over again. And I'm okay. I've seen this. I've done the same exact way 100 times. 80 times out of those 100, it played out. And me understanding that, it's not, oh, that's an aha moment. I just studied the same exact thing over and over and over again 100 times and I see it play out. Same thing when we learn how to walk. We kept on trying it over and over and over again, and then oh, it clicked. Nobody just started crawling and then stood up, and then on their very first attempt learned how to walk. None of us did that. It was an accumulation of steps taken over and over and over and over again, falling and getting up over and over and over again, and then that's when it all clicks. I am going to move my stop loss here. Because gold got to the high again. It got to the resistance, and I'm not going to give back all the profit. I can easily get back in again later, so I'm going to move my stop loss to right there. Even the way that I view trading, even the way that you view trading, I have made trading truly enjoyable. And this is really the biggest shift because I no longer look at win rate. I don't even look at risk to reward no more. All I look at is what am I willing to risk? What would invalidate this setup? And where is the next area where price could potentially head to? That's literally it. When I entered this trade, I wasn't on the I'm looking to make a X, Y, and Z R multiple. It's when I entered this trade down here in this area, I knew what would invalidate this setup for me. And I asked myself, what first I asked before I even do a lot size, I asked myself, what would invalidate this specific setup for me? And for me, I determined that if price broke all the way back below here, that would invalidate this setup for me. So once I determine where price would invalidate the setup, then I do the risk. I don't do it the other way around. Because if I do the risk first, then I would easily have put a stop loss right here super tight just because I wanted a bigger risk. So I would try to compensate that risk with having a tighter stop loss. No, every time, every trade is different. And that's what it's like for me. Every person has their own way of doing things. Find out what works best for you. If you want to do a 20 pip, 10 pip stop loss every single time, then back test that over and over and over again to see if that actually works. For me, I don't care about the size of my stop loss. I don't care about the size of my take profit. All I care about is being in the trade to get to the next area. When I determined first this would invalidate this setup, seeing sometimes there would be times where the invalidation would be a lot smaller. If I were to, per se, take a sell here, I would determine that a stop loss above here would invalidate the setup for me. This invalidation is a bit bigger. So that means once I've identified that, now I will just go to use the lot size according to whatever this invalidation is that aligns with my risk that I want to take. And once I determine that, I just press the lot size, just press buy and just let the market do its thing. When it comes to the take profit, I'm always looking to target the next area of support and resistance. The previous high, price hit that. If price continues to keep going up into the next resistance range, which is up in here, and so forth and so forth. I'm always trading from level to level. But am I going to hold a trade all the way to that next level and keep on holding it? I don't know. The market will tell me that. If price makes a significant move, I'm not going to just have my stop loss like right now where price is at. I have been in this trade since down here in this area around 1 in the morning. Here was my entry. Here's where I'm currently at. Why would I give back? Why would I put my stop loss right here? Basically at break even. I would use wisdom and be wise. And this is why I don't look at my profit whenever I'm trading. I want to flow with the market. I don't care about the profit is a sum of the longer term things anyway. Because I already view, once again, the mindset. I already view myself as a seven-figure trader, making seven-figure trades. I already view myself as that. So when I look at trades and I flow and I already truly believe that I'm a seven-figure trader, that not even a seven-figure trader, because I don't even care about making seven figures no more. To be honest, I've even adjusted my mindset to that because I no longer seek the things that I did before. When you seek more of the worldly things, the amount of money that you need to compensate for that is greater. If you seek the Lamborghinis, the big mansions and all the everything, you would need to, oh, I need to make millions of dollars. I don't seek all of that. I seek freedom. I seek peace. And I know what peace looks like to me. I don't need $1 million to have peace. I really don't. I want a bunch of land and I want freedom. I want peace. I want just that. And I know that I don't need that. So even for me, even though I know that I am a seven-figure trader making those type of profits, I believe more in the trades that I take that grants freedom. Every single trade flowing with it. If price goes up in my direction and I close it based on my trade management, that is more freedom. That is the freedom to do anything that I want to do. Regardless of what the profit says on Trade Locker, when I close that trade, this right here, you close it right here, that's the freedom to go travel anywhere in the world that you want to. Anywhere. It doesn't matter. You can go travel for however long you want to. That's how I view the charts now. If I were to close right now, regardless of what the profit is, that's freedom. So I look at it like that. And when I close, I am in no rush to get back in. I'm grateful. I got it. I can keep on going about my life. I no longer want trading to consume me. I no longer seek to be consumed by trading and have my life ran by trading. That's what I no longer want. I just want trading to be there. I just want trading to be like I'm watching a Netflix show. I'm watching a show on TV. I'm watching an anime. I'm just watching it, observing it, boom, going about my day. Watch an episode two, go about my day. That's what I would look at it as. I don't want trading to consume me and my life to be ran by trading and feel the need that I need to stare at the charts 24/7 every single day. Money is a defense, wisdom is a defense. I would rather seek wisdom over the gold and riches. And if I allow trading to consume me and overcomplicate it, I will never be able to achieve that. If I want to make things so complicated, so hard, I would never be able to achieve that by doing that with trading. So I don't view it the way that I used to view it no more. I've grown. So when I view the charts, when I take my trades, I don't look at the profit because there's going to be a point in time where every single trade that I take, if I wanted to take a trade, boom, there's a piece of land right there. Just by that one specific setup, there's a piece of land. You can go travel here for a month if you wanted to. You can go travel there for a month. You can go retire your mom. Just as one trade, it'll retire your mom. She'll never have to, or and your dad, you'll never have to work again. They make sure they're good. That is how I view the markets. That is why the way that I trade is the way that it is now. And I want you guys to do whatever works best for you. Find that way that works for you in your life. God never put trading in our life to force us to make us sin? Why would God put trading in our life to make us just be sinners and have fear and doubt and anger and anxiety? Why would God ever put this in our life if he knew it would destroy us? If it would cause us to go more into the world? Well, you understand that. You understand the purpose he gave it to you for. Trading is here so we don't have to comply. No matter what, we don't have to comply. We we don't have to comply to the things of the world. We can do whatever, wherever. You get fired from your job, okay, it's getting replaced by AI, okay. Trading can't get replaced by AI. Even though AIs are a thing in trading, you're just your broker's not just gonna block you out because you're not an AI. You get fired from your job, okay. You can no longer stay in a certain place, okay. You got kicked. You can't stay in the U.S. no more. You can't. That currency is no more value to you. Okay, move to a different country. Make some money in the charts. Translate to that. Make some money. Go buy some gold. Go buy some land. Go do this. Go do that. You don't have to comply. That's what I perceive trading as to me. The Most High has blessed me with this. This is a tool. This is a gift. And why then shall I focus on obtaining worldly gains, obtaining more from the world when the Most High has already blessed me with everything that I need within the charts? Because everything that I need is here and I can spend my time. I don't need to chase a bag. I don't need to chase wealth. I don't need to chase numbers. I need to focus on wisdom. And I can just use trading. You make a good day in the market, you close. Imagine being in the markets for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, and you make whatever that is, whatever that freedom is to you. Imagine making that in a day. You can spend all your time seeking the kingdom, being a blessing to others. Get to that point. The only way to get to that point is coming from among the world, not loving the things of the world and the pleasures of the world. To truly no longer care about those things. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna let this flow. Price came up to the highs, it's rejecting it. Still creating higher lows. Move my stop loss at 45.95. If price comes out, it'll stop that position out. In profit. Gave back a little bit compared to what I made. And therefore, I will just wait until there's another opportunity. The next area would be either it already came back down into here. If price does continue to keep dropping and continue to keep retracing, all it is just a matter of where. This is how I view it. This is what I'm going to look at and look for. Whatever the market does. If it just starts to shoot up right now, I'm not adding no positions or getting in. I already have my stop loss in profit, so if price does come to a certain point, then it will stop me out. But if price does continue to keep retracing anywhere, anywhere in this area in entry, I would ask myself, what would invalidate this setup if price were to break below here? If price breaks below here, that would invalidate that setup if I were to take it anywhere in the area. So I would determine this is where what it invalidates, and depending on where that entry point is, whatever the risk that I'm comfortable with risking, then that will be what the lot size is. That would be what my lot size is. And then I would let the trade do its thing. If the market just continues to keep shooting up from here, I'll just keep this one trade that I have and let the market continue to keep flowing from here and just set some alerts. I will set an alert right here. I'm not on the trading view, so I gotta do it like this. I will set an alert right here, and then I'm going to set another alert at 46:30, and let the market do its thing from here. And that is it for me.